I thought I had it in one piece. Now, you may be wondering why I'm doing this. You might think that I'm consolidating our snow so I can make it last longer. Or I'm just making gratuitous loader videos. But I am actually prepping for something, and I'll get to that in a few minutes. Welcome back to Tale 3 Cabins. It's very, very early in March. The weather is changing. Things are thawing out here. I had to do a little prep work out there with the snow to make room for a purchase that we made back in September. It's finally come in. We're picking it up tomorrow up in Michigan. We got about a 2.5-hour drive. And then when we get home, JD and this Titan hitch is going to get put to the test. So I want you to stick around to see what happens.
I apologize. Which unit is it? The 235?
Yes.
Yep.
Totally blank there, talking about So the 2 points of sway control is called an E2 by Fastway. You get sway control on each side of the trailer. They also have a style that has 2 extra points of friction at the top called an equalizer.
Okay.
It gives you more side-to-side control. The 2 point is, I think, more than enough. That's $449.99.
Okay.
And the 4 point is $649.99. If you guys want them, just let us know. They charge $159 labor to install it. If you were to continue to hold it out, it'll just continue making that noise.
Okay.
Once you hear that click, it's all the way out.
Okay.
There's a main interior, which does most of these. They all still have their own individual if you only want certain ones on.
Okay.
All of your ones that are on your side, they just have a button right in the middle of them. This one here, same way. Possibly these as well.
I've heard like some slides, they don't want you to use them or sit on them when they're in.
So your risk on any slide sitting on it when it's in is if for some reason there's something sticking down, a head of a screw, anything. If you're sitting on it, you push it down into your tile. That's your only risk. You can also see underneath there if you lift up the rug when you're bringing it in, and you can look for things like that and clean them up.
Yeah.
But if there's anything underneath your slide and you put weight on it, you can damage your tile. Other than that, you won't damage the slide
while
itself.
it's moving, or just while it's in, or it doesn't
So when
matter?
it's in, you can puncture. And then once you puncture, if it doesn't release and then you go to put your slide out, it'll drag.
Yeah.
So even just being in, putting weight on it, that's your risk. I try to avoid it. Sometimes you can't. They're durable. It's usually when like kids are in and out of them, jumping on them and things like that is when it happens. It's not usually when you like are scooting around a corner and might step on it a little bit.
What we're going to do is I'm going to start on the outside with you. We're going to walk around the outside, show you things on the outside, and then we're going to go inside and talk about that. So first off, we got your batteries here. 2 20-pound propane tanks, already filled, ready to go.
Okay.
Regulator, you can move from side to side here. Pointing at the tank. If the tank is empty, it'll be red.
Okay.
All right? It means no pressure, it'll be red. When it's on, it'll be green. You have an auto jack. Retract, extend. Makes life a lot easier. There's also a little light up here to help you when you're backing up at night.
Okay. If we change the 30-pound tanks, there should be enough clearance with the pump out?
Yes, I do believe the 30-pound tanks, you should have enough clearance in there. So you get your hitch on there. We'll you get your hitching demonstration at the end of this demonstration.
All right.
I've towed like a 20-foot trailer that's with none of this stuff.
No weight bars? Okay. All these bars do is they take the weight off of your suspension and they put it right onto your frame. That's what these bars do. When the trailer has all the weight on it, right there's probably 400 or 500 pounds of weight on these bars. So you're not going to be able to move them.
Okay.
Once you get it hooked up, or when you're trying to hook up, what you're going to do is you're going to back up to the trailer, lock your receiver on the ball, lock it in place. That's unlocked. That is locked. It's got to be all the way down. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to back up, you're going to lock, you're going to jack up your trailer, which in hand is going to jack up your truck also.
Okay.
Because it's hooked to the ball here. So it's going to jack your truck up also, which will bring the bars up. So you get all the weight off of these bars. If they weren't stopped on your L brackets, they would be way down here right now. So jack them up real high as we go to where they're loose. As soon as they get loose, they're loose. So you're gonna pull your pin out in your L bracket. Now all you're gonna do is slide this over. If you were disconnecting, you would take this side off and that side off, which is by pulling this pin right here. See that? You're gonna grab it with your left hand, pull that pin out, and let it fall. Just like so. That pin pulls out a little pin that goes in there and locks it in place.
Gotcha.
So if you were disconnecting, you'd do this side, you'd do the same thing on the other side, then you would lower it back down to get, because right now, this is holding up your truck.
Okay.
So it's going to be hard to get it to release. So you can lower it back down, get the weight off of your truck, unlock this, then jack it back up off your truck. If you were hooking up, what would we be doing? You would jack up, back up, lock your tongue on the ball, jack it up. This here, all you do is take it, snap it in place. That's all there is to it. Now, if we were low down and these were not hooked up, they'd be way down here. You'd never be able to get them up here. They do give you a bar that will help you get them hooked up, but this bar does not help you get it off. to get hooked up to use this, set it like so, snap it in place. But if you got weight on it, it's not going to help you get it off. So it's good for getting it on, but not for removing it. So then once you put it back on, put your L bracket back on, put your lock back on, your pin back in, jack it down. See, already there's a ton of weight on there. Now once this has all the weight of the truck, these bars are really what's holding the trailer up. That's what's taking the weight off of your suspension and putting it right onto your frame. So, like right now, you ain't gonna budge them things to get them off unless you jack it up. Your chains always have to be crisscrossed. And you also have a breakaway cable here. But if you ever come disconnected, that will pull out of the pin and turn your brakes on as long as your battery's hooked up. So to stop the trailer. That's gonna hook up to the same place your chains hook up to, right to your truck. I'll get you a clasp to hold it on. And that's pretty much all there is to it. This will do. This truck will tow this trailer no problem. You should be good. Your setup, your front end did not come up at all. So you're not gonna lose any steering. Make sure when you are towing though, you want your tires to be maxed out in your truck. Every tire on here tells you what your weight is and what your sidewall strength is. It's either C, D, or E. And hopefully you got these D's on here. C's will be fine too, but just make sure, it'll tell you what your maximum tire pressure is. When you're going on a trip, max all your tires out. Because otherwise you're gonna get see that sidewall right there?
Yeah.
Well, it can get really bad if your tires are low. So if your tires are not low, you'll be good, but you want to max them out when you're towing, especially long distances. Rule of thumb is you either get level or nose down a little bit, nose up will give you a little dancing on the freeway. So, but when semi trucks go flying past you, you will feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to feel it a little bit, but main thing is try to drive as normal as possible. Don't white knuckle it and get real tense. That's how people end up with accidents and stuff, you know.
What about setting the trailer brake to activate? You know, you have that.
Usually, every trailer and truck are different,
Yeah.
but usually a good rule of thumb is somewhere between 2, 5, and 4
Yeah.
on your gains. I mean, you don't want the trailer stopping you. You don't want it pushing you either. You want to find a happy medium there where you just barely feel that trailer slowing you down. You want to make this truck think that there's no trailer there. Is what you want to do. And the factory installed brake controllers are very good at that. It's really hard for you to even feel that trailer when you're stopping, unless you have it turned all the way down or way up too high. Usually you got a 6-foot bed here, I see, which is good. These people come in there with 5-foot beds. It's really the longer wheelbase, the better for towing. Shorter wheelbase, the worst. So just, do all your due diligence when you're towing, like your tires and your hitches and all that, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
You're tow okay. This trailer will tow this thing no problem. One thing is you have leaf springs. The new Dodges do not have leaf springs no more, so you don't hold the weight as well. This does. So, I mean, new Dodges tow good. You just have to do a little bit more work setting them up. That's all.
It doesn't look like it went down at all.
No, and that's what them bars do. Them bars really help you out with that. The main thing is keeping your front end down. Your back end goes down, your front end comes up, and that way you get looser steering, and that's what you don't want. So you should be fine though.
Cool.
And if you guys forget anything, give us a call. My name is Steve. I'm the highest tech here. I've been here for 15, 20 years. I've been here almost 18 years.
I'll get more details on this trailer in the future. We're ready to head home now, and then JD's going to get a workout right off the bat. Many years ago, I used to tow a 6,000-pound boat with my Jeep Wrangler, which was a 2-door at the time, and that had a very short wheelbase, and that was a definite white-knuckle experience when I would tow it. I was a little taken back by the mileage we were getting on the way home. I thought I would get around 11 miles per gallon. I normally get 20 miles per gallon, but I'm in the 8s. All in all, besides the mileage, it was a comfortable ride home. There was really no sway even when trucks were going by. There was a little bit stiffer ride. You felt the bumps a little bit more, but that was about it. Looks like JD is handling this just fine. This is going to always be a two-person operation though. There's just too many blind spots with this large box in front of me to see around it. Our area is just way too muddy and we're trying to keep it on the pavement as much as possible. So I'm going to try to attack this trailer from different angles by just disconnecting and reconnecting. We're most likely going to store it on the side of the garage, which will be convenient for us. We're going to leave it out a little bit so we can get the slide out, do some work, and start prepping this for our first trip. It's also going to be handy to have a outlet nearby so we can keep it charged and still run the heat and some other stuff inside the trailer. I also wanted to keep the front jack on the concrete or our turnaround. I learned a lot about this thing before we even picked it up. I had 5 months to do research on it, so I'll probably be doing some detailed videos in the future on it. One thing we were unable to do was even set foot in one before we ordered. So this is the first time we've seen one physically. We've been in stuff that were similar, had similar cabinetry, similar furniture, beds, and etc. But this is the first time we've actually seen this in person. This phone app is going to come in handy for when you want to watch for obstacles and you want to pull this slide out and maybe you're by yourself. Okay, so it's good to know that JD can move this around. One thing is that we still have to load this up full of our junk, and sometimes there might be water tanks or gray water tanks or black water tanks with some added weight to it, so that could make a little bit of difference when we're moving this around. But for now, I'm happy that I know that I can maneuver this around our property with JD, and that's pretty much a relief. So undoubtedly there's going to be some videos about this RV, travel trailer, hybrid travel trailer, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to pass along things that I've learned, just like with other things that I do around here. I know it's not part of 3 Cabins, but it is part of our life now. I hope you stick around when I do some of these trailer videos. I do plan on doing some mods to this. There are a few things I want to take care of right away. I do want to do a little bit of video on the overall setup, the overall purchase, a few other things. And I'm always going to keep it sort of on the technical side, and not so much if we do go traveling. I'm not going to show you too much of our travel videos. Maybe if there's nice scenery involved or if something interesting happens, but I'm always going to keep it on something we're learning, something we're changing, modifying, etc. And then JD is going to have quite a bit of work coming up too, so we got to make a parking area for this trailer. I still have to make a parking area for my other trailer that's by the pole barn right now. And then we're looking at concrete still. Hopefully that's still in the works, and a few other projects that JD's got to take care of. We got some dirt leveling to do around there, planting some grass around the pole barn. So a lot of activity coming up here in the spring. Always seems like when the weather breaks, there's many more things to do than what there's time for. But stick around for little adventures. I hope you enjoy and subscribe to these videos. Click on that little bell when you want to know when a new one is coming out. And keep an eye on us. Take care, everybody. A lot of paperwork to go through with this trailer too, so take it easy.